Adobe Express, a super helpful tool where you can create all your assets, your brand assets, your be it online, offline. And it's something that I would like to demo for you so that you can get started and you can leave here knowing how to start and how to start creating things that are consistent, are cohesive, and that are implemented with ease, because obviously we're all time poor. So what are the key benefits of Adobe Express? It is being Adobe, being part of Adobe. It uses professionally grade software such as Firefly, which is the AI generative software. You've got Photoshop, you've got Acrobat, stock fonts. So being powered by these professional graded software means that, for instance, on your AI generation, a big advantage of it is that because it's Adobe, it has to be very, very mindful and attentive of only using licensed images. So it's safer than your free platforms where you can generate, your Midjourneys, whatever, wherever you're using to create your AI images. So if you want to stay safe and if you want to not infringe any copyright, that is a good way of a good reason to move to Express. Obviously, you've got your fonts, which is I think is 25,000 fonts or something like that you can use. So all different fonts. So they're not your standard Google fonts or free fonts that are available. And then you've got your stock images, so higher quality stock images that don't really feel that stocky. You also have like a content scheduler, which is super helpful, that connects with every single social platform, where you can schedule all your content all in Adobe Express. And Adobe Express has a very, very seamless workflow between mobile and desktop, letting you create, edit, do anything either on mobile or your desktop and switch from one to the other very, very easily. And it does have your comprehensive video editing integrations, which are super useful for the type of content that we need to be creating more. So without further ado, I'm going to do a little demo. I would like to show you how to, kind of like show you around Adobe Express. And then I would like to show you how to create your brand kit to keep everything on brand. And then I'll demo creating a whole asset from scratch. So if you could just bear with me because I have to like change I need to leave full screen and go into my browser here. So, Amy, can you just let me know if you can see the Adobe Express environment now?
Yep, that's all clear. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so, so much. So Adobe Express, I forgot to mention it's free as well. So it's a free tool, which is fantastic. And so this is what you're going to get when you come onto Adobe Express. This is like your home page. At the top here, we've got your kind of like outputs that you wanna create. So you've got your social media with all the kind of the sizes, divided by platform there if you want to do it, and then kind of like some templates suggestions and some quick actions. And then you've got your video. Again, what I was talking about, it being a really, really comprehensive editing tool. So you can create clips from longer videos, you can merge videos, you can crop videos, you can do GIFs, convert files, do captions, all these things that you can do in your main editors, video editors. Is really, really handy for that. And what I was talking about, Adobe Stock. So you can use, you've got all these sorts of stock videos that you can use for your content. Again, all licensed and all neatly licensed. Then you've got your photos and obviously what I mentioned about Photoshop. So all of these tools are powered by Photoshop. So you actually get a ton of different filters. I think it's like around 30 or 50 different Photoshop filters that can really help you get sort if you're low on budget or anything, you can have pick a certain filter to become your art direction on your photography, for instance. You have your generative AI here already. So if you want to create your images, just type up the prompt. And with the document as well, you can edit, you can do everything, basically everything that you can do on Adobe Acrobat, but all here on Adobe Express, which is super handy. Because some of you might be dealing a lot with PDF, so it's a very, very handy tool to have. You can create and export your web pages. You have an integrated printing service in which you can create your assets on Adobe Express and export them to print and then get them delivered to you, which is so handy. And then on the generative AI, just to kind of like show you the majority of it, you can insert object, you can remove object, you can create typography, and you can also have templates that are prompted with your prompts. Then onto your left-hand side here, you've got your more personal tools. So you've got your stuff. That's like where your projects, your libraries, all your kind of like documents live. You've got your brands, and this is where your brand kit will live, and which is something that I'm going to show you very, very soon how to do. Obviously, you've got your templates, and I mean, it's a huge variety. You've got like all these filters that will help you filter by output, size, mood. So there's all these different filters that you can take to really, really help you find the template that you need. And as I mentioned, we've got the schedule, which is super, super handy. All you need to do is go to Manage Connections, connect your platforms here. So as you can see, you've got TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, Facebook. And you also have an AI assistant here on the content scheduler that will tell you important dates, like Earth Day or, Easter, April Fool's Day, and then give you like little prompts to help you when you're content creating as well, which is super handy. And then it publishes everything on those platforms as well. Then we've got like a learning section where you can find everything you want to about how to use it. And then you've got your add-ons. So add-ons is a brilliant thing as well, because basically you've got things like Vimeo add-ons. I use a lot of add-ons for like batch content create and do things like customizing QR codes. So it's got like quite a lot of advanced features, and then on top with the add-ons, it does become like this really incredible super tool that is available for free for you. So going on to how to get started. So firstly, what I would do after you have someone design your logos, your colors, and establish, develop your brand identity, I would come here to brands and I would create my brand kit. So let's go with a test version. All you need to do is click create. It's all very, very easy to use. And then you can start by adding your logos. And I would add these two. And then you can move on to your colors. A lot of it is automated, so you basically can just, if you go into swatches, it picks up on the colors of your logos already, which is super handy. And you've got your fonts. Again, what I said, over 25,000 fonts to pick from, and they're really, really lovely designed ones. And then you've got your templates. So these would be where your brand templates live to make your life easy on creating assets. And then your assets. So that will be your icons, your photography, whatever you need. Just to show you what this would look like when it's all populated. It would look a bit like this. So you have like your templates, you've got your assets, you've predefined your header and your body copy, everything. But what's exciting about it is what this actually does when you start creating content. So let's just come here, go and try and create a LinkedIn ad, for instance. So as you can see here, it opens up a lot of templates here. And you can also generate your template by putting some prompts there. I normally like to either design my own or like just get, if I'm poor on time, just get one from here that looks like more or less what I want to be doing. And let's say this is like an ad on how business solutions create trust, for instance. That's what we want because we want people to go for it. And all you need to do once you've selected your template is go to brands and then click apply brand. And that basically changes your text and then changes any kind of colors for the brand colors. I'm going to pick another template to make it that really showcases this. So bear with me. Let's go back to brands. And then we want to go to the store, apply brand. So as you can see, that's the kind of power it has, really. It's just like really quickly does something that is really easy to, and as you can see, it applies it to everything. Obviously, you need to then go and come and tidy things up and make it all neat and, you know, make it all to your taste and to what you need it to be. But this is really how easily it's done and how you can really do build a really strong visual storytelling by doing by creating a brand kit and then kind of using it on templates that are, you know, maybe pre-designed or not. I'd like to show you as well how the generative AI works so that you can see sort of the power. So let's say this week's industry tips, we want to generate an image that is square, and our prompt is going to be, we want a light bulb, not to be too cliche, but that is what I'm kind of thinking at the moment. And it's going to generate it now. You could bear with me. Sometimes it does take a little while. Okay, here we go. It got me some really funky versions here, but I want something a bit plainer. So I might have to remove the background. Or what you can do as well is you can make it a different style, like something more layered paper, for instance. It's a bit tidier. Generate. Just because it's a bit more blocky. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't really live without these kind of tools now. Because who has time to design everything from scratch for your own kind of business? You know, if you're starting out as well, it's a great way of having something where you can have everything done consistently and really kind of keeping, you know, starting to build your good storytelling like that. Let me remove the background now. There you go. You can then go and erase these things that aren't there. So as you can see, it's like essentially a bit of a design tool here. Let's make it smaller. And now what I want to show as well is like the Photoshop, sorry, getting into a a design flow zone here. I want to show the effects that you can get. So the filters from Photoshop. So as you can see here, you got your Photoshop filters, which are so fab. And I want something a little bit cool retro. No, that's not much. Sepia. Yeah, this looks a bit more in line with what I was envisaging. Maybe right. Yeah, there you go. So let's just make it, get rid of this arrow and go for that. So yeah, there you go. We are bringing this to front. I mean, I could carry on, but essentially I want to leave some time for questions. And I think this could be a good time to ask for your questions.
Do you want to go into Q&A now, Teresa?
Sorry?
Did you want questions now?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions for Teresa, please write them in. Someone's asked, how does the content scheduler work?
Oh, so let me show it. So we've created this asset now. All you need to do is create share, click share, and then as easy as schedule post. And then you select the channels you want them to go on to. Obviously, if you've got more, write the caption, and then you can publish it now or book it for whatever day. Let's book it for tomorrow, for instance. And then, let me show you on. Let me show you here what it is now. So it's really, really handy. I mean, it's a lifesaver, really. You go on here and you will see it here as like these cards. You can, it also has AI for captions. So let's just like use that actually. Adobe Generator. Oh, sorry about that. Let's just put this week's industry tips. And then we just ask it to generate a new caption. And then there you go. It just gives you like a whole caption with hashtags and everything. And you can just like put insert and save changes. So that's how easy it is to schedule something. One thing that I'd like to share as well is that I don't know if I mentioned, but you can share things with your team. So you can share your brand kits with your team, and you can have you can invite people that can then comment and leave anything on the file. So it's really easy it's really good for presentations and slides that you're working on to have like it really enables that collaborative workflow that you need sometimes. So just wanted to
Perfect.
add that.
Yeah, no, that looks really straightforward. We've actually got a exclusive offer at the moment for Adobe Express where you can get premium for free for 3 months. I'll share that in the chat soon.
Yeah,
Another question we've got is, does it allow you to animate an image?
it does. Yes. Let me show you. So for instance, we've got here the headline, and I want to animate that. I want to make it. So all you need to do is here on the text, go on to animation. And let's say we want it to slide, something like that. And as you can see, you can do all these, you can animate this as well. We can make it wobble. So yeah, I mean, not the sexiest animation here, but like as you can see, it is really, really easy. And it's a case of just selecting the element you want to animate and then animate it. And then obviously when you share it or when you download it, you can download you'll be downloading it as a video format. So you download it as an MP4. And then what you can do as well is if you need to create a GIF, you can just like convert it as a GIF on Adobe Express as well. So all in the
Nice.
same platform.
Lovely. And do you have any thoughts on how this compares to Canva? So obviously, yeah, we've done a webinar actually for Tech Up before on using Canva, but I was just wondering, did you personally have any thoughts on that and the kind of pros and cons of using both?
I do. So obviously I'm a designer. That's my background. And I prefer Express because you're using professionally grade tools. That means that things like the animations, that video editing, all those things are more refined. So you can really get into it. For me, it's easier to tr edit images here. It's easier to edit videos here. And I also like the fact that we have access to Adobe fonts and Adobe stock because that just gives it that little point of difference. Because I think that what happens with Canva is because obviously it's so widely used, and obviously they've got their top performing fonts and the top performing assets. At some point, you kind of know when it's designed on Canva because you can start seeing these things that you've seen before and etc. So and you don't get that with Adobe Express because as I said, it's like you're getting access to Adobe fonts, which is like a font resource library that graphic designers use. So and also from like a licensing and from an ethical point of view, I think that if you're going to be using AI to generate images, you should be looking into using tools that assure you that they're using licensed images and that actually had the permission from the artist to, remove this element or not. So I think that's a key thing for me.
No, that's really insightful. We've just had a question because you mentioned AI. Someone said, how do you make AI images brand consistent? So, for example, they don't come out the right way, this person is saying. So, yeah, any thoughts on kind of using AI generated images?
Yeah, so what I would say there, it's to really nail down a formula for your prompts. With that saying is essentially just have like your a formula in which you have the what you want it to generate, and that obviously changes and varies, but then the style, the mood, the types of you can actually like tell it to, what kind of color palettes you wanted to use, etc. And kind of like nail down and be use that style and that prompt consistently, and that way the image, and obviously here, as you could see here, we could go really into, we could just generate similar as well. Actually, we can just generate similar, and that's the reference image. So with this tool as well, you're basically just creating the same image in the same style. And you'll see, let me just show you actually. This is a new tool that got launched last week. So
Amazing.
so let's say we don't want a light bulb, we want a coffee cup. And that's all I need to put in, because obviously that's a really important thing, isn't it? Because once you start
Mm,
creating your assets, you don't want the image bits to be all different and have different
yeah.
color types and have different treatments. And as you can see, it's like the same kind of treatment, but obviously I did manipulate it quite a lot. But if you see, compared to that, it's really aligned, like that one especially. It
Mm.
has like the little triangles there and everything. But obviously I treated it because I couldn't help myself. So what I would do, oh, sorry, I went out of that. Let me,
No, that's really helpful though, that demo. And yeah, really interesting that you can have it kind of in the similar look and feel to what you've got. Um, Someone's asked a question just on Canva again. Can you easily migrate from Canva to Adobe Express? Not sure if it's something you've got experience of or yeah, can speak to.
I would say that in my experience, because so I work with some clients that really love Canva. So occasionally I will have to pick up on a presentation, on a pitch deck that's
Mm.
done in Canva. And then when I download it and open it on Express, it's never like as a line. When that happens even when you export from slides, from Google Slides or anything like
Mm.
that. and you download it as a PowerPoint format, and then suddenly you open it on PowerPoint and it's completely messed up. So there's not completely messed up, but there'll be things that aren't aligning, and there'll be things that you'll have to go and tidy up. So that has happened to me, but to be fair, I haven't had to do that in quite a few months. So I don't know if it's easier now.
Okay. Another question we've got is, can you add a tag on Adobe Express for your products that takes you straight to your website?
Yeah, yeah, of course. As in add a tag, as in a hyperlink, or
Yeah, I'm assuming it means link, but maybe the person has
mm,
asked this. If that's not what they mean, just send in another question.
mm,
Um,
that's a very good
uh,
question. Like you do with you can when you're doing a PDF.
mm,
So if you have like a PDF, but with it on an image, I think you need to have it as a QR code, and you can do QR codes on Adobe Express very easily,
mhm.
actually. Let me just explore quick actions. It should be here actually. Um, let me just put it here then. QR code, generate QR code, and then all you need to do is just paste a link there. Let's just go. Let's just go
They've
Google
just
it.
said it was a link to a shop on
Oh,
Instagram.
okay. Let's just go. Let's just go. Let's go here. And then you just put your link, and then you open it in editor, and you can just grab it from here, and then on another tab have your template. Go back to our template here. And then you can just like pop it in.
Lovely. Yeah,
And
so
that
quite straightforward that way.
really, really straightforward.
Just having a look at other questions. If anyone's got some more questions, do send them in now. Um, and someone said, can it be used? Can you add in a link for an Instagram reel just so that you can tap on the screen? So yeah, I guess that would just be the kind of hyperlink added into the asset, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so a QR code, or like if you're doing a PDF, yeah, I don't think you can like grab an asset and put a hyperlink there on here.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay. Another question is it better to pay for a designer when you're starting out? Mm, yeah. Do you think it's
Uh,
best when you're kind of starting a business to kind of get that professional help?
Definitely, because I mean you can
Mm,
get your logos design on a lot of free platforms. In fact, Adobe Express can design your logo, but I just find it that when especially in today's day, again, if you do a logo on these like free things, you can kind of see. So I would really suggest that you get a good brand designer on board,
yeah.
so someone who understands about brand strategy and who knows how, what kind of brand positioning you want to have, so that you can price yourself at the right bracket for you and your business. And I think that without a real brand designer, you're kind of stuck in a
Mm,
place where you're launching your product with a beta version, and then in a few years' time, it's completely unsuitable and doesn't really isn't aligned with your business, and then you have to rebrand, and then that's a whole nother thing.
yeah.
Because
So
then you're dealing with people not recognizing the brand, and you have to do your research to understand what kind of impact that's going to have on your business and on your numbers. So it's 100%. I would say that, yeah, bring someone in from the offset.
yeah, so best to invest early stages as if you can. Another
Mhm.
question we've got is about video editing. Can you edit videos and make a short video more interesting?
Absolutely. So we can I can show it here. So let's just go into video, and let's go. So from a longer video to a shorter video to create the clips, you can just literally just upload your video. Let me just upload a video. You can upload a video. It needs a longer video. That isn't so short. Have I got a longer video? I don't. Mine's already all. Hang on a
All
second.
edited already.
All edited already. Sorry about that. Let me go again. Let me try this again. Okay, I'm gonna do like a screen recording. It's not gonna be very oh God, Jesus. Okay, so it has to be longer than 1 minute. Oh, this is 6 seconds. Sorry, guys. This is. Uh, I
Worth bearing in
don't.
mind, yeah, that it needs to
It.
be at least a minute. But it's good to
Yeah.
know that you can obviously edit the videos
Yeah,
on
you
here.
literally can just drop them here and then you just generate the clips and then you can pick the clips. So if you don't like the clips, you can just like slide it along the timeline and pick the ones that are useful for you,
Mm,
if that makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And another question we've got is, can you use one image and tweak it to have different movement like a cartoon?
Yeah, you can. You can create a cartoon. Let me cartoonify. Oh no, this is the avatar thing. Uh, it does have a character building thing.
Mm.
Animate characters. Here we go. Sorry, you can tell I've never used this
No,
part
but
of
it's
the.
it's amazing to see that that's an option that you can do.
So let's go
So we
professional
know that's a
people.
possibility. And obviously, people can get the 3 months free if they want to kind of experiment with these things themselves as well. Just drop the link in the chat again.
Absolutely. And you can just literally just go on record, put your voiceover and then you go. There you go. You've got like your animated character.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Very
really
cool.
handy.
Very cool. Time for just a couple more questions before we go to our next speaker. So, just keen to know, like, what are some kind of common branding mistakes that you see that we can avoid?
So firstly is not to have strategy. So that would be my first thing is you have to have brand strategy. You can't just like create your brand without understanding what it
Hmm.
stands for, without having a brand foundation set right, without understanding your customer, without understanding, who's your community, and what market positioning you're aiming for. So without brand strategy, you can't really do branding properly. I think that branding, when it's well done, it has a lot of strategy, a lot of research, a lot of thoughtful considerations behind it, beyond just the personal taste of I like the color green or I like the color blue. So yeah, I would say that the common mistake is that I see people not using strategy on branding, and that pains me.
No, understand. And how can businesses kind of maintain consistency across the different platforms and touch points? Do you have any advice for that? Obviously, using a tool like this would be really helpful, but yeah, do you have any other tips?
Of course, yes. So I would say that before you start on a tool like this, if you're using a designer, you can get them to design your templates and then upload them onto a tool like this. And then all you have to do is really worry about your word count, the image you want to use for that asset, and it really makes things seamless. I would say as well that as fun as it is to work on these creative platforms, it's also we're all time poor. So and the ways that I see businesses falling down the inconsistent going down the inconsistency pathway is when they start putting things out that are completely different from the others. So I'm not saying be boring and then just put the same templates out there. No, have like a really wide variety of templates that you use, but use them consistently across the platforms as well, so that people because ultimately what you want is to become memorable, and you only become memorable when people start recognizing you, and that's through a lot of repetition and a lot of showing up and putting things out consistently. So I'd say, yeah, again, use a designer to help you set up properly.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Teresa. That's been super helpful.